Scary telling.
I was alone in my apartment, scrolling through videos on my laptop. I had already wasted hours on mindless content, but I couldn't seem to tear my eyes away from the screen. That's when I came across a video titled "The Smile Eater." Curiosity got the best of me, and I clicked play. The video started innocently enough, with a man sitting at a table smiling at the camera. But as the seconds ticked by, his smile grew wider and wider until it seemed to stretch beyond the limits of human possibility. Deep red lines carved their way through his cheeks, and I felt a chill run down my spine. Suddenly, the man's face contorted into an expression of pure terror, and his smile vanished as if it had never been there. His mouth was left dangling open, mangled beyond recognition. My heart raced as I watched him scream and writhe in agony. As the video ended, I realized that I had been holding my breath. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease that had settled over me, but it clung to me like a thick fog. Every shadow seemed to contain something sinister, and the fear of someone watching me lingered. I tried to distract myself with other videos, but my mind kept going back to the Smile Eater. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to it, something that I was missing. As the night wore on, I found myself becoming obsessed with the video. I watched it again and again, feeling a twisted sense of satisfaction each time. But something inside of me was changing. The fear turned to anger at myself for being so weak, for letting a stupid video get to me like this. I threw off the covers one night and marched back down the hallway to my laptop, my fists clenched at my sides. I clicked play on the video again and watched as the man's smile grew wider and wider. This time, I didn't look away. I stared straight into his eyes as he contorted in agony and felt a sense of power wash over me. The fear was gone, replaced by a twisted sense of satisfaction. But the more I watched the video, the more the unease grew. I felt like I was drowning in the man's gaze, like he was watching me even while I wasn't watching him. I couldn't escape the feeling that someone or something was following me, and the fear began to consume me once again. I knew I had to stop watching the video, but I couldn't seem to tear myself away from it. It was like a drug, and I was hopelessly addicted. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and I was next. I couldn't resist the urge to watch the video again and again. Each time I watched it, I felt a twisted sense of satisfaction. But something inside me was changing, and the satisfaction quickly turned to something darker and more sinister. I found myself becoming increasingly obsessed with the video. I would watch it for hours on end, unable to tear my eyes away from the screen. I felt like I was being drawn into a dark and twisted world, one where the only thing that mattered was the pain and suffering of others. The fear turned to anger, and the anger turned to something else entirely. I felt like I was becoming someone or something else, something that fed on the fear and pain of others. And the more I watched the video, the stronger that something became. I knew I had to stop, but I couldn't seem to help myself. The video had become an addiction, one that I was powerless to resist. I would watch it before bed, and wake up in the middle of the night with the image of the man's twisted and mangled face burned into my mind. I started to neglect my work and my relationships, spending all of my time watching the video. I stopped going outside, stopped answering my phone. The only thing that mattered was the video and the rush of power that came with it. But the rush was short-lived, and soon I found myself needing more and more of it to feel the same sense of satisfaction. I started to feel like I was losing control, like something else was taking over. And as the fear and paranoia grew, so did the sense of something dark and malevolent lurking just beneath the surface. I knew I had to break free from the video's grip, but I didn't know how. It had become a part of me, a part of my identity. And as the fear and paranoia grew, I began to wonder if I would ever be able to escape. I was trapped, alone in my apartment with only the video for company. The fear and paranoia had consumed me, and I knew that I was in too deep. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and it was too late for me to turn back now. I woke up in the middle of the night, feeling like I was drowning in the man's gaze. I saw a pair of unblinking eyes staring back at me, belonging to a man with a twisted and mangled face, just like in the video. I knew it was just my imagination, but the fear was too real. I tried to shake off the feeling, but it clung to me like a thick fog. I felt like I was being watched, like someone was lurking just outside my door. I got up and checked, but there was no one there. The fear and paranoia grew stronger with each passing moment. As I walked back to my bedroom, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following me. Every shadow seemed to contain something sinister, and the fear grew with each step. When I finally reached my bedroom, I locked the door behind me and crawled into bed. But as I closed my eyes, I saw the man from the video in my mind's eye, his wide, unblinking eyes fixed on mine. I tried to push the image out of my head, but it only grew stronger. Soon, I felt like I was drowning in his gaze. I couldn't breathe. The fear and paranoia had taken over completely. Suddenly, something inside me snapped. The fear turned to anger at myself for being so weak, for letting a stupid video get to me like this. I threw off the covers and marched back down the hallway, my fists clenched at my sides. As I approached my laptop, I felt a sense of triumph building inside me. I was going to show myself that I was in control. I clicked play on the video again and watched as the man's smile grew wider and wider. But this time, I didn't look away. I stared straight into his eyes as he contorted in agony and felt a sense of power wash over me. The fear was gone, replaced by a twisted sense of satisfaction. And then, everything went black. I don't know how long I was out, but when I woke up, I was lying on the floor. My head was pounding, and my face felt like it was on fire. I looked up and saw a pair of unblinking eyes staring back at me, belonging to a man with a twisted and mangled face, just like in the video. He caught me by the hair and dragged me back inside my room, laughing maniacally. I struggled to break free, but the man was too strong. He twisted my head around to look at him, causing more bones to snap loudly. The camera's recording light flickered on, and the man smiled, revealing his razor-sharp teeth. It was then that I realized that I had become the Smile Eater's next victim. The fear and paranoia had consumed me completely, and now it was too late to turn back. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and I was next. The man revealed himself as the Smile Eater, the character from the video. He explained that he feeds on the fear and pain of his victims, and the more they watch the video, the stronger he becomes. He told me that he had been watching me, and that I had given him more power than any of his previous victims. The fear and paranoia had consumed me completely, and now he had claimed me as his own. I struggled against him, but he was too strong. He twisted my head around again, causing more bones to snap loudly, and I screamed in agony. The Smile Eater laughed maniacally and fed on my fear and pain, savoring every moment of my suffering. He reveled in his power, and I knew that there was no escape. He told me that I was his now, that I belonged to him. The fear and paranoia had consumed me completely, and I had become his next victim. I had let the video take over my life, and now I was paying the price. As the Smile Eater continued to feed on my fear and pain, I felt myself slipping away. The fear and paranoia had consumed me completely, and now there was nothing left. But even as I felt myself slipping away, I knew that I had to fight. I couldn't let the Smile Eater win. I couldn't let him take everything from me. With all the strength I had left, I lashed out at him. I clawed at his eyes and bit down hard on his hand. He screamed in pain, and I felt a surge of power wash over me. For a moment, I thought I had won. But then the Smile Eater's grip tightened and everything went black. When I woke up, I was lying on the floor. The Smile Eater was gone, and the laptop with the video still playing on repeat was the only thing left behind. I knew then that the Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and that the cycle would continue. I had let the fear and paranoia consume me completely, and now I was paying the price. As I lay there, unable to move, I realized that the Smile Eater had won. He had claimed me as his own, and there was nothing I could do to stop him. The fear and paranoia had taken over completely, and now there was no going back. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and I was next. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. I was a shell of my former self, haunted by the memory of the Smile Eater and the fear and paranoia that had consumed me completely. I tried to move on with my life, but the experience had left me broken and shattered. I couldn't bring myself to watch any more videos, and I avoided anything that reminded me of the Smile Eater. But no matter how hard I tried to forget, the memory of the Smile Eater lingered. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his twisted and mangled face, and I felt the fear and paranoia creeping back in. I knew that I had to confront my fears, to face the Smile Eater head-on and take back control of my life. And so, with trembling hands, I opened my laptop and searched for the video. The fear and paranoia threatened to overwhelm me, but I pushed through it. I watched the video, and this time, I didn't feel the same sense of satisfaction that I had before. Instead, I felt a deep sense of sadness and regret. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, and I had been too weak to resist. But now, I knew that I had to take back control. I had to learn from my mistakes, to face my fears head-on and refuse to be consumed by them. It wasn't easy, but with time and effort, I was able to move on from the experience. I learned to control my fears, to avoid the traps that had led me down the path to the Smile Eater. And as I looked back on the experience, I realized that I had come out stronger for it. I had faced my fears head-on and refused to be consumed by them. The Smile Eater may have claimed me as his own, but I had refused to stay a victim. In the end, I had emerged from the experience a changed person. I had learned to face my fears, to take control of my life, and to refuse to be consumed by the darkness that had once consumed me. And so, with a sense of peace and acceptance, I closed my laptop and walked away, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Smile Eater had claimed another victim, but I had refused to let him claim me.